Vince DeFranco from Synesthesia Corp. This is Pipes. It's your all-new sound engine. It's a sample playback, MIDI sound computer, 48K, 24-bit, 64 voices with 0 detectable latency, and all your samples are loaded all the time. You can switch between gigabyte sample sets instantly, onboard library, and you can add your own sounds. So it plays back samples, pretty straightforward. You can lay out your own patches, or you can load our own MDA file, instruments, full instruments playing.
So what kind of sound files are supported?
Wave, AIF, and MDA files, which are our fully sampled instruments with position, velocity, and round robins. Okay. So this is one example, a Steinway piano. And you can, the library will be expanding, and then you can jump to other instruments. And then, of course, we've got your effects. What you're used to, digital delay, filters, and things like that. We also introduced tweakers, which affect your sound on the way in instead of affecting it on the way out. So for example, let's add MIDI notes into an arpeggiation. Now, you can load from a number of tweakers. Here's another example, and they're all pure data patches. You can write your own and load them in. So, the harder you push, the faster the triggering. You can choose from hundreds of tweakers.
So it's basically you can design your own pure data.
Yes.
And is there a maximum, or is there
no maximum. You can load in hundreds of tweakers that you write as pure data patches and add them to the library.
Can you give us more information about the hardware? What kind of hardware do you use?
This is actually, it'll outperform any sample playback unit on this entire floor, and it will actually out horsepower a laptop. It's built out of 2 computers on the inside. One of them is open source user interface that you can redesign and modify in pure data, and the other one is a proprietary audio engine circuit with all the high-level triggering capabilities. And the most high-level triggering capability is got, let me give you an example, there's pipes, which are similar to splits. I can define areas of my keyboard which have their own effects and their own tweakers. So here's an example of a piano with a digital delay, and up here is a marimba with a tweaker and a panner. Right, so you've got, and that's not everywhere. For example, here's a piano, and here's a marimba with no effects and no tweakers, and here's the marimba with the tweakers and effects from this area. So you can put your pipes anywhere you want. Now here is something. Let me show you this. I'm going to show you right now. Here's an arpeggio playing, up and down, arpeggio, through the piano. That's a larger than a gigabyte instrument playing right now. I can press a button and switch to another instrument which is larger than 1 gigabyte. And you can do that to as many gigabytes as the memory that you have.
So you have support for hard drivers.
Support for?
Hard drivers. And hard drive with more gigabytes than on a stick.
We're going to offer units up to 128 gigabyte memory. The memory is internal, but you can load in your sounds from the USB stick.
So this internal memory is SSDs or MMC. What do you use there?
We'll reveal that later, but it goes up to 128 gigabytes. Now let me show you something that's interesting, is that when I'm playing that arpeggiation, I'm bending the pitch as well, just to show you the capabilities of the technology. Because we're housing a new core technology inside of this. And then effects. Okay, now, instant switching of multi-gigabyte sample sets. That's not possible by any laptop or any desktop computer. The tweakers and the effects and the 48K, 24-bit, 64 voice uncompressed, that's not possible from any floor sample player units. So if you get yourself into a situation here with a high-level controller like our Mandala drum, this is another one of our products, you can see in here this drum recognizes every rim is a 0 to 127 controller. As I press on the rims, they're all individual triggers. As well, the surface of the drum, if I press, you can see where I'm touching from the center to the edge of the drum. Real-time readout where this drum is being hit, and it's got a ½ millisecond latency. And you can see how hard you're pressing as well. So here's an example of something that happens in this case. Let's turn off that effect. Let's go back to, here's what we want to do. Let's make sure we have no effects running. And we are on. Okay, so now on the drum. Okay. All sound coming from pipes, right?
But is this MPE support, do you include it, or?
Which support?
MPE.
Oh yes, fully MPE capable. As I defined to you before, the pipes that have their own effects and their own tweakers in the different areas of the keyboard, I could assign a pipe to every single key of the keyboard. So MPE, this is a sound engine which would fully work with MPE.
Can you give us more information maybe on the effects, or how you can tweak the samples in it?
Yeah, okay, so one thing to keep in mind is that this is a prototype unit for the show, and we're moving towards this unit for the crowdfunding campaign, which is launching in a few months. And you got our QR codes here for going to our site. And so right now we've got filter, delay, distortion. Those are the effects that we have in there as of now. The list is going to be 4-band EQ, reverse. Oh, there's also a slicer and a panner, which are currently in there. You heard the panner before.
Something like a granular, something? Maybe?
We may move into granular and some of those areas, but right now it's almost the standard set of effects you'd expect. A lot of filters, distortion and delay, 4-band EQ, reverb, things like that. That's where it's starting. The tweakers are like octave up, octave down, pitch flux, all kinds of interesting tweakers. And so when you get a controller similar to this, or let me show you another thing. That's a fully sampled tom drum, 500 samples of a single tom drum. Now, you might say, what are you going to do with that? Well, for example, here's a Black Beauty snare sampled 1,200 times, compiled into a single file called an MDA file. And when you put that on our drum, and you've also got rim samples. So with a high-level controller like this drum and the power of Pipe's audio engine, you're in a whole new territory with controllers and sample playback.
Everything is made on the hardware.
Everything.
No editor, it's everything made on the hardware.
Yes, but of course you're loading your own sounds in, or you're using our library. And you're also, if you're adventurous, you can modify the user interface if you want to. And you can also always build your own tweakers and add to the list through pure data. The whole front end is based on pure data.
So it's only it's a sample player, and you cannot sample in. So
Right, it's a sample playback unit.
okay.
Yeah.
And what output units do you have now for audio and USB?
Light pipe out, and analog 1/4 inch out, and light pipe out, and 3 USB ports in, and it's compatible with hubs and with MIDI interfaces.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you start your Kickstarter campaign?
Kickstarter is going to be mid-2018, a few months after NAMM. Kickstarter will start, and the prices will start at $399. That's it. Take the place of a laptop and an audio interface, and we will be offering several different memory models.
And the final retail price will also $399 or?
Yes, $399 is
okay.
entry.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot.